We are back and fired up in action. We've got Little Acres, and we can take our time. Obviously, I don't know where they went back there. Obviously, we apologize for getting started a little bit late. But hey, quality's been good. We've been trying to roll through them. Ross Murrow right next to me has been enjoying himself and said actually he needed a break just to take in all the lots anyways and process them. So it actually worked out really, really good. So we can blame that on Ross for the break. He needed time just to sit and think about which gilts he was going to bid on tomorrow for sure. In the ring now is Little Acres Show Pigs. We like to call him Little Acres. That's a Snapchat username. We like that pretty good. Best basketball team on the face of the earth. Little Acres for sure brought us a good one. Back tag 62. Her ear notch is 22-2, and she is sired by Game Time. Her mom's an absolute crickets, and I think that pedigree itself reads really, really good to me. There's a bottom side of generating sow power and stoutness, and then you bring in just some top shelf type of look and class with Daddy, and that's pretty much what's exhibited here in the ring. A whip broke gilt that we've had a good look at early on, a beautiful tail, very round bodied, and everything just fits and balances very, very good. He was here early this morning. She was never panting. She was always cool. She always looked full and prepared well. We appreciate that for sure, and we appreciate this gilt's quality. Once again, this will be back tag 62 from Little Acres.
Really, really good gilt, big backed, and I've seen a lot of Game Times here. I've loved their quality, look, and presence. What I've questioned just a bit, and I think there's going to be a lot of those Game Time surfaces they continue to go, but just how much just sheer mid-body chub they were able to get, how much just fore-rib dimension that they would go through the feeding period. This one, no question, that may be her absolute strong suit, and yet still she's got the look that most of those Game Times do. Really nice kind of a gilt here, 28 there by Little Acres. I think a neat pedigree and combination of the phenotype offered.
In the ring next is Bowles. Obviously I got the Show Pigs here from him here at Queens, then yet still I got to see a set of them there that sold online that were obviously older age and would have been out of place in terms of size at this sale early on. But man, what I'm getting at is I've never actually got to go to Bowles' house, and when I got there, I got to sit there in a chair. Sent me a nice Snapchat of a cat that was pretty cool, the Corb. He liked that pretty good. And then, man, just had a really good time and looking at pigs. And I told him, and I still stand on it, that was a top 3 place I visited, especially in that time frame and that online sale group of that little 2 or 3 week period. Bowles was at the very top of the list. They all had quality. They all had the right type of heads. And that was something I said earlier I may wear you out with. But, man, we're going to continue to talk about it just because it's what matters. It's the initial view out of the gate, and these two do it to a very, very high degree. Back tag 46 is the crossbred. That's a Ricky Bobby, next contestant back on Ricky Bobby's mom. And then the Chester there is back tag 47, Friction, copyright Pandora's Box. Once again, not to be long-winded, but kind of wanted to slow things down once we got the preview rocking and rolling again and be very just in our wording. I think this is an awesome pair from a firm that for sure will be heard about.
Well, honestly, I'm not a big advocate, or I guess I'm kind of wore out that we have to photo live sale pigs and then post them on Facebook. I feel like that's defeating the purpose of a live sale. Yet when I saw this gilt's picture, I looked her up and figured out what she was, and it did start with her head. Garrett, I thought for one with a mug like that, and I don't use mug quite as loosely as what some guys do, but that is one stout mug, and her arm matches. She's still flexible. I read that one as a bulky gilt that's still immature, and everything can kind of fit and match as the time goes on. Facts are facts. I believe that Evan probably laid Ricky Bobby in to make white ones good and better and to win. And I've seen calicos and belts even today that are going to be at the very top end because of that extra general stoutness, and yet still they're very flexible. The Chester gilt's a little bit behind, might get overshadowed by her pin mate. Obviously, she's not going to have to ever show against her. Her rib shape is awesome. Her mid body has turn and actual dimension to it. She's got a cute little head and still the square end working in her as well. Again, a very nice pair from Bowles, 46 and 47, worth looking up there in the back.
Up next, we've got Squires in the ring, and this is an unpopular swinging bred gilt. The Sal is owned with Alex Yost. And starting with Mav, I'd shared a deal there on Facebook. A guy that to me is just a very good human, the type of guy that incorporates the right type of daily thinking, and devotion to his life, and then still incorporating the right competitiveness, and then just I guess toughness at home in terms of standing down with his head down and breeding the right type of pigs, because probably Mav doesn't, come out maybe as much as some guys do, just in terms of, being in the public. Obviously, always out with Linder. We're missing him here tonight. I think he's down south, and that's what I'm getting at. Obviously, he's not here, but Alex Yost is in the ring with this gilt that obviously owns this out with Mav. Mav is a really, really good mentor. And then at the same time, this Alex here, this is a young man that's up and coming as well. He actually would have shown the 3rd overall Duroc Barrow at OIE this past year from a consigner we've actually got here, Jerry Brooks, which is obviously a name we'll talk about later. But man, this is a very, very good gilt. Not to just talk about relationships the entire time, but something that needs to be noted. I feel like stuff usually works out when the intentions and situations are good. This is a good gilt bred by good guys. I'd say the guesswork's pretty much figured out for you. Back tag 24, bred by Squires, unpopular swinging.
Austin leaned over, and I couldn't find the notes in here, but a gilt there that obviously quality is awesome, rib and body and mass is there, but what's, again, we talked about proven sow families and genetics that tend to work. Out of a bred purchase actually from Wintex that was responsible for the champion middleweight division at their Texas Elite show. Obviously a show there that I'm going to maybe step on a few toes. We're real proud in Texas. We try to emulate and match that show to the OIE Gilt Show. We'll never do it. We're going to keep trying, and things will go. But it's the toughest gilt show in Texas, without a doubt. And again, from a sow line that's responsible for division champion. Again, levelness to design, unbelievable body shape, and still square when she leaves you with the right kind of head and ear set. Good kind of a gilt there for sure. Awesome, really individual there from Squires.
Next in the ring is Ivy Livestock, accompanied by Jim McCoy. But this is Ivy Livestock in the ring right here. He brought us a trio of them, 2 gilts, and then a male we'll talk about on Kings Row. And they're obviously, these 2 gilts are mates, but then the male is too. They're wide awakes, out of a Quite Frankly sow. And man, we couldn't be happier to have them here. Xander's a really, really good buddy of mine that man at Expo. We had a little time to kind of hang out. We were pinned next to each other, and man, just got to talking. I recently moved to Stillwater, going to class, obviously been judging some shows and is very well recognized. And then you see the type of stock they bring down. This is very, very impressive, and I appreciate them for coming. The 2 gilts are back tag 43 and 44, wide awake, Quite Frankly.
Garrett Ari, I don't know if it was apologized or recognized that we probably talk about people and relationships as much as we do pigs, and I don't know. I think that's the most important thing, and we'll talk about. And obviously, we still got to show them. But I was actually friends with Xander's mother and at A&M, and then I have as much respect for Jim as anybody in the entire world in this deal. And they've poured their knowledge and passion into things, and now we've got the next generation. And Xander actually worked for me when he was at Blinn. I haven't quite told him directly how upset I was with him that he moved to Oklahoma. There was a real good big school right there close to us, so you could keep working, and we got a lot. But I think a lot of their family, I think a lot of Xander, awesome individuals. There's differences, but to be able to bring 3 of them out of 1 litter to a live sell is very unique. 43 there. She's probably just the stouter featured one of the pair. Huge back, huge ended, awesome bend to her rear leg, and still footwork is great. She's bred incredibly well. The 44 is maybe a little bit slicker about her throat, maybe just even that much more extended up front and more immature in her muscle pattern and look. But with that pedigree, and we read and project things there, she may be the choice of the pair. So awesome litter, great young man and great family. 43 and 44 from Xander Ivy.
Next in the ring here would be Brooks Family Show Pigs. Jerry Brooks, obviously a name that I'd mention and was a no-brainer in terms of an invite there, excuse me. A man that for sure has taught me a lot of what I know and then, still yet have helped me out immensely, growing up there. We've got back tag 41, back tag 42. They're both sired by Boss Hog. That's the boar there that he bought from Galt. And that boar actually goes back to Brett Byers, his main sow there that done all his generating for him. That was a quick note I had. And then back tag 41, her mom is born with it. And then the back tag 42 gilts out of a dealer sow that's made it similarly, and then yet still raised some winners herself for sure. Like I said, Jerry Brooks is a name that is no doubt very, very familiar and good around here. He would have raised a bear I got to show that would have won Tulsa that was the same color and had the same ear set in 17. And to be honest, that probably gave me the confidence and just the openness of a window to kind of do a few things in this industry. So forever grateful for that. For sure, Guy, whenever you want to talk about the right type of stuff of maturity, stuff that will grow, no doubt he can tell you and educate you on that, and it's worth the listen because he's a very, very, very knowledgeable man. Mr. Brooks, I appreciate you for coming. Very good pair.
Garrett's definitely right. Extremely nice, extremely cordial, extremely knowledgeable man. And I've never actually had as much interaction with him other than a couple backdrop pictures there. But an awesome pair, bred extremely well. I was able to actually judge, I believe, either the mother or the litter-mate to the mother of 41, and I think she won the Reds and maybe the third overall there at a district at their district show. And I'm going to mess things up. He's given me a lot of information as we kind of went. I don't want to disappoint him, but I think I'd upset him more if I jumbled things around. I invite you to go talk to Mr. Brooks. I really enjoyed the conversation and the amount of, again, knowledge and passion that he had in here. I think these gilts are made right. I think their skeletons right from a guy that knows how to make red ones turn out there in the end. 41 and 42 from Brooks. A really nice pair of red ones.
Yeah, once again, just to reiterate on that, a little more, just more knowledge and stuff probably Kelton and I couldn't tell you about sow families and stuff like that. Mr. Brooks can answer those questions in the back. The next one's in the ring here would be the Swinford Livestock Consignments. Obviously a deal that rings very home and close to my my heart and kind of the stuff I like and I do. Obviously very, very close for sure. Back tag 16 would be the spot. That's a Big Daddy mattress pad potty mouth. The Duroc gilt, a standing on business, forward, green bottles. And like I said, obviously if you're not familiar with purebreds and you're sitting ringside, you're going, man, these things are a little small. And even if you are familiar with them and you think they're small, that's fine. And that's not going to deter, I don't think, from the bids tomorrow for sure on these. And it shouldn't because, like I said, they are small, but the quality is as good as anything in our purebred offering, no doubt. Spot Gilt's mom wins her class at OYE, Rachel's senior year, and she makes a sale, brings a really good amount of money, and they still buy her back because they believed in her generating potential. The Duroc Gilt is one to me that just in terms of skeleton, texture, head, and ear, just set and shape is so good. Her mom was a high placing gilt at OYE there that won a lot on the Jackpot Series. Like I said, a little small. That probably, I guess, detours a few guys. It doesn't deter me one bit. I bet both these tomorrow are going to get going pretty quick. At least we sure hope. Two gilts we like a lot. We'll let Kelton talk them.
Well, like I said, Garrett asked me a long time ago to come and be a part, and I was hoping I got to see and witness things there. Kind of surprising, Garrett only sent me one Snapchat this whole entire time. I thought I was going to get quite a few of them of different gilts, and it was of that spot gilt. And I knew he was excited about it. I said, that one looks like she'll work. And again, she may be small and could fit in your pocket, but I'd tuck her in tight and run home there. We were just counting it up. There's 6 months or just right shy of 6 months until we show that that final show of the spring, and then we've got time there. But think about our breeding value, both show value. That's an awesome gilt. I won't talk her up too much. I've got a couple spot gilt orders. I think she fits really good. And if y'all can't find her, then we're probably not on the same page. I love that little gilt. The Duroc gilt, we've talked about maturity a lot. Tiny gilt, she's the right maturity, feet work her right. Her little tiny neck sets way high on top of her shoulder. Very good pair of individuals here. There's a lot of time. They're small and they're little, but the quality is very high. Congratulations there from Swinford. I don't know if I have the back numbers. Yep, 16 is the spot. 17 would be the Duroc.
Next in the ring, John Mark Holt, and another guy, that for sure was on that initial list of, hey, this is a guy that not only is a really respected guy in our part of the world, but really everywhere in the country. And this gilt, my buddy Ryan Murphy, he got to go up there and look at a few pigs, and he had said, hey, I did you a solid because, to be honest, I did a bad job of getting to John Mark's, whether it be a schedule or timing difference. Ryan Murphy actually kind of pulled the load here and convinced John Mark to bring in her, and I appreciate that for sure. I may have to buy him either a little bit of food or a drink over the weekend at some point because I sure appreciate it. Back tag 48, she's a blowing smoke. Hot Take 47-3, never before. There's a lot of white, light cross, Yorkshire classifying gilts if you're kind of creative there, and this one fits in that category for sure. And at the same time, foot spread, passion strength, indicators of stoutness, and then just skeletal quality throughout all tells me she'll be pretty hard to beat. I like that one pretty good. Thanks, John Mark.
Well, I've got a guy I've known for quite a few years, and always comes into things with the same amount of passion and the same amount of focus, and particularly on the female side, if you think about how many times there's been one from Holt Livestock that's gone on and produced, whether it be a boar or a champion somewhere around the country there, and he's been able to release gilts and that produce and to work and at the same time build his own program and continue to heighten it every single year here. This back tag 48 is an awesome white gilt here. John Mark tells me this gilt has the same grandmother as Blowing Smoke's grandmother, and so there's a lot of predictability there. Obviously, a lot of breeding value. We've already harped on it a bunch. You guys know the resale value of what these things would have, and the white crossbred deal has been such a focus for so many people. Love this gilt as a show gilt, as a sow, as one of those that can definitely turn dividends there in the end. So again, that's Holt. That's back tag 48, Blowing Smoke, Hot Take 47, never before.
In next is Murrow Farms. I like to call him Puddin', also known as Murrow Farms or Ross Murrow. So for sure, gave him a little bit of crap there earlier, but obviously for good reason. A really good buddy. Lives right down the road from Wilbur. That's pretty interesting that two guys that live that close to each other, pretty much in the middle of nowhere, northwest Oklahoma, raise the type of quality they do. We appreciate him bringing his crossbred gilt. That's back tag 50. She's a Wild Time Savage Karma. Very neat kind of colored gilt that we think's got some skeletal quality, got some look and extension for sure. We'll talk about his spot male on Kings Row out of the champion at OYE last year later. Once again, thank you, Puddin'.
Well, Murrow's gilt is sired by Wild Time, as he said there, and I think a board there that's done as good of a job as any of them to make ones that have the right kind of look and the right kind of structure. And this gilt falls right into suit. A really neat color pattern to boot. This says that this is actually 75, or the mother would be a $7,500 off the farm purchase from Kurt Morgan. We know what the Morgan firm's done for releasing again females that go on produce there, and she would have raised the gilt that they took to the she sale that the Sights crew had a lot of success for. Maybe not just the most blowed up show pig that we're going to see in here, but again, an awesome colored gilt that's absolutely dead level up top, really cute up front and still extended and stout enough, squaring on her corners. Her footwork is right. A nice entry there by Murrow. That would be back tag 50.
In the ring next, we have Voss Show Pigs, back tag 52. Obviously a gilt I've got to see more than once. This is a Cottonap and Timber. Her mom is actually responsible for both Inman's Reserve Grand gilt at our district show last year. That was Reserve Grand at that Altus big throwdown show that they've always put on. And then also at the Reserve Grand Barrow at the Enid District last year as well. So for sure, appreciate the Voss family coming. We're missing Jake tonight. Hopefully he's on the live stream watching there. And how good this gilt looks, no doubt. Claire and Ashley, Quinn and Henry, we appreciate your hard work. We like this thin belted gilt a lot. She's bred good, got some predictability. Thanks for taking your time and coming. Very, very nice gilt.
I really don't know the Voss family that well, except for it seems like every show we go to, we get to visit at the backdrop because they get along really, really good. I know how much effort they put into things. The presentation is awesome. Whenever they posted that online sale, I started just kind of scrolling through, and I said, well, shoot, they're going to do things way bigger than just the show ring, and that was a good group of them. This one fits right on in, and obviously when Garrett was going to put on a sale with Kenchi, and I would say Voss's get invited. The best one's probably coming, and that one's got a big chest. She's square at the top of her blade. I love her balance, proportionality, and footwork that she offers. Again, headset is right. You know, maybe things that we talk about that sometimes silly. That's a true belted gilt, but if you watch where the front part of her belt hits her shoulder, when that gilt gets to be a mature gilt, she's going to look like she's got a front end that's 3 feet long and then a short back and a square end to go with. That's a neat gilt there that Voss brought you here. Cottonap has done an awesome job. Timber sow. This says it's out of a bred purchase, I believe, from Frontline. Genetics are there. The program's there behind them, and I know they're very proud of this one. Again, back tag 52.
Next in, we're going to follow with Wilbur Genetics. Obviously, another firm that comes in, pretty familiar with. Very, very close to my heart. Wilbur is another one of them guys. You know, I probably won't even have to say much. Very, very close with, and for good reason. An awesome human being, a true stockman that understands breeding hogs and then yet still understands the quality and presentation it takes to win at a big level, and that's been shown by him more than I could sit here and ramble on about on the mic. Back tag 33 and 34. Back tag 33 there would be the blue gilt that Jordan Smith there's on there on this side. A very, very good gilt that Claire actually would have shown her mom. We called her Dixie. Jordan got to show her there at Expo. She was highly decorated for sure. Reserve Grand at our district, 3rd overall at OYE. And then, man, too, the grandma of this gilt was also the 3rd overall at OYE the year before. And when you start talking about topside pedigree of modern day, and then that gilt specifically, phenotype of width up front of that gilt, width from behind of her as well, is complemented so beautifully by modern days. A little extra stout head, a little secure hock from behind. That gilt fits me very, very well. I think she is one that's going to get real spicy one day, if you will. A very, very nice gilt. The other one's an OG2, which is a boar there that actually would be a mate barrow we called Louis. He would have been the champion light cross barrow there at Tulsa last year that won him plethora of jackpots throughout this summer. Back on an endgame sow that would have raised the grand champion gilt in the Muskogee Regional that these Ward girls would have fed. And for sure that one was highly decorated that the Rasky family showed. So a little longer winded probably on the Wilbur Genetics firm, probably maybe because I've got to be around it a little bit. I'm very, very happy with him and Sarah for coming down and bringing a pair of this quality. Wilbur helped us bust pellets in the back. An awesome friend. Gilts speak for themselves.
Well, obviously, Weldon knows the backstory and front side and back side, and has reaped the success or has benefited from this firm as much as any of them. And actually, I guess it was 2 years ago there at the district show when I was judging. It was the first time I actually met Garrett there face to face. There, he won the Barrow Show, won the Gilt Show. The young lady there in the ring actually had the gilt, and since then, when I got home, I told told my kids that there's a fellow there named Wilbur that I'm going to go to his place as much as I can. And since then, I don't know how many times I've gone. I'm so impressed every time. Like you said, a true stockman that's got a vision and builds things. One of the things that he has an extreme passion for is females that can show and then go on and produce. This blue gilt, obviously, Dixie, and everybody kind of knows her by name. This is one awesome blue gilt there, whether you're in the light division or going further than that. The belted one, I'm fair to say, maybe took the heat in the trip just a little harder. I saw her yesterday. I'm going to tell you, probably tomorrow she'll fill up even just a bit more, but when she does fill, that one's hip design and just a squareness of pins, her shape up top and sharp look that she has ahead of her shoulder. Again, maturity pattern is right. Can't thank them enough for bringing them, and I think the world of this family and their program that they have. Dig in, get in whenever you can, and I know that you'll be thankful that you did. 33 and 34 from Wilbur.
Once again, rolling into another firm that to me specifically, and I bet a lot of guys ringside gets fired up, Justin Day and Family Show Pigs. And, that's a guy, much like we've talked all day, it's pretty refreshing at a pig sale. Most of them, I'd say every single one of our consigners have brought us stuff that's similar in terms of build and stoutness, and they're all real good guys. Justin's at the very tip top of that list, no doubt. This gilt is sired by Wide Awake out of a My Intention Kingpin sow. Her mom is a mate to Day Drinking there at Levi Montgomery's. Also a mate to the $34,000 boar that Levi bought as well. They call Strapped In. So for sure, some quality, obviously in terms of stoutness and boar type feature and quality out of the gilt's mom. But then yet this one probably exhibits a little later maturing type of look. Rear legs really good. Head shape's really good. Thank you, Justin. I know you're down south. We like this gilt and we like your male real well.
Justin probably wouldn't say just a whole bunch there, maybe on the microphone as you kind of go. But again, like Garrett said, the passion that he has, the amount of years that they've been successful is phenomenal. And that's because they're just built like this. And out of Wide Awake, obviously a very popular sow line there as well. Day Drinking's litter mate and bred to the hilt, and looks like she's got the maturity and running gear to be there at the end. Again, we talk about things, and I always talk about personal experience. That's all I can really glean on there. Been able to judge their district show a couple different times. Justin's always in the ring. We got done with the belted deal. We went to lunch, and I said, man, those belts were really good. And we started kind of going through there, and he never said a word. He was opening up the gates or running the clipboard there as we kind of went. He had the vast majority of the class winners there that was shown. I just am always been admired. Again, the build, the balance, the look, the proportionality, the right kind of muscle texture, and the right kind of rib and body to get along on the big stage there. This gilt could go for absolutely ever. She's athletic and very good kind of individual there from Day. Again, we've got back tag 12.
In the ring next, we've got Burling Show Pigs. This is the firm that came all the way from Indiana, and rightfully so. There were some guys up there that saw them, Jaden Wemmer being one of them. I saw he'd shared a post, talking about the quality of both, pretty much everything that was coming from the Burling firm. And we're going to preview the Hampshire gilt first, follow with a pair of Duroc gilts right behind her, and then talk the Hampshire male later and the Kings Row talk there. So this one is a mate to the one in Kings Row. This is the Watch This, Netflix. Her picture has been very popular on Facebook and Snapchat alike, and rightfully so. In terms of a purebred Hampshire gilt that's round-bodied and still good in terms of her loin, she's strong-footed and transitions right everywhere. That's going to beat the majority of them, no doubt. And then you throw in the fact that she's so good balanced from the side, and man, everything just fits and comes together very nicely, in my opinion. I'd be hard-pressed to think that there's a better Hampshire gilt selling anywhere in this area this weekend. I'd say that's the best one easily. I think that one's very good. I appreciate them for coming down. That's a long trip, but man, very good stock for sure. In next are Burling's 2 Duroc gilts. Back tag 5 would be a Cry About It Main Man Hammer. Back tag 6 would be a Cry About It 22-8 Red Wire, nothing but net. And for sure, they'd brought, more numbers than anybody, and we were so happy with that, and that's what we wanted. Because, man, this pair of Duroc gilts and then the 2 Hampshires, for those 2 breeds, I thought they represented it very, very beautifully, especially in terms of being some bigger size stuff that could even, if you're a Texas buyer, probably appeases to you more than maybe some of our OYE type of prospects that we've brought in. So no doubt these are very good Duroc gilts to me that are balanced, have back shape, and have awesome heads. I'll let Kelton say the rest.
Yeah, like you said, and it's funny that we get on the same page as we see these, and we're right here in the heart of Oklahoma and buying, and we always got that March show in our sights, but these could work in Feb really easy, and then on the jackpot scene there as well. What back tag is the gilt there for? We've got 5 and 6. Yeah, that 5 gilt first, when she comes in, you talk about comfort level, reach, and range of motion. I don't know that red gilts tend to have exactly what this gilt offers. She's got a neat set where her ears lay, and then her skull shape is so awesome. I've been to Cody's a few times there in the red deal. He's got great pigs across all different breeds and categories there, but I think the red deal's kind of where the passion lays, and he gets even that much more excited talking about them. I love that gilt in tag 5. She hit me really hard when she came in. The other gilt's got a little bit more, even more extension, even more length, and I think maturity pattern reads right. She's one of those that you can get on the feeder and get things going, and still today she looks like those that give them all they'd like in the show ring. I think a really neat pair from Burling. Back numbers 5 and 6 on the Duroc females.
Next in the ring, we've got Car Show pigs here. Looks like we've got, let's see. You got 30. Back tag 30 here's in the ring now. She would be a Snap That, rumor has it, Rockstar. 90-5 would be her ear notch. Her back tag is 30. Not paint branded, but make note, she is 30 and a very good gilt for sure. Another one that made a long trip, brought some really, really interesting pollens, and his crossbreds fit the mold of quality, no doubt. That this is another gilt that comes through a chest width, awesome look to her head and ears, very, very speedy, rocket built type of gilt that's got some longevity.
I'm absolutely awful at reading notes and going through things there, and I guess I'm always under the belief when we enter the show ring, we don't know pedigrees, so we better just evaluate what we have, but it kind of gives you ability to lean on some things here, and this crossbred gilt is actually out of the same sow that raised passing notes there, so obviously predictability is there. Phenotypically, again, a great body gilt. Usually when they were great big bellied and big in their center, they kind of get off in their balance, and yet from her chest, her midline to her flank reads level. Her top line is level. I still think a wide constructed kind of a gilt. She's big about her toe size there as well, and in one of those, again, backed by a great pedigree and a really nice belted crossbred gilt there from Carr.
We're going to keep going with Carr, this time in with a pair of them. Back tag 29 there. Would be the crossbred, back tag 29 would be Exit Strategy Staying Alive. That'd be the 98-5, and then back tag 31 would be 96-6. They're not paint branded up top there, but if you read the ear notches, the 98-5 29 gilt there, and then the 31 96-6. 31 sired by Head Start, State and Facts. 29, like I said, Exit Strategy, Staying Alive. Trying to get with our notes here. Only thing I know is that they're very, very good for sure. And obviously both Poland gilts, so kind of hard to kind of tell them apart as I'm looking at them up here from top. But I've seen them right here across the aisle from Wilbur all day long. Carr got in here early, and we appreciate him coming so much. And I've been looking at them all day long, especially the little gilt there, and just how good quality they are. And man, Poland gilts to look like that after they got hauled here from all the way up north and then settle in a barn that was slightly warm this morning, it's pretty impressive. It's a really good pair.
Yeah, I think an awesome pair of them. They're the first ones I got to see down the alleyway, and took note for sure. And wasn't surprised that these were Graham's Poland's, because it's synonymous with that kind of quality. That little gilt, he was worried she's going to slip through the cracks over there, but that's a little gilt that is flat awesome there. And then she just reading through here. Dam raised the champion Poland gilt, 23 Indiana Stock Show, champion Poland, 23 American Roll. Grand Dam was a litter mate at the Reserve Poland at the American Roll in 19. I guess it's kind of one of those same deals. If you're hunting a Poland gilt, or maybe just hunting a breed champion, I would of any breed, I would latch into to that little gilt there. 98.5 would be her ear notch. The 96.6 gilt, Dam raised Fine China 33-1, or Dam raised Fine China and 33-1. 33-1 sired Exit Strategy at the collection, champion Poland 23. The list goes on. Champion Indiana Stock Show, the National Bears Show, Reserve Poland there at MILE. So awesome firm. They're known for Polands, and yet at the same time, these are unique for their breed. Unique offering there. I guarantee you they didn't come all the way from Indiana and bring ones they weren't very proud of. Take your pick there. A really good set of Polands there as well.
And next, we've got Colson Show Pigs here, back tag 54. She's a drum roll blindside, and obviously 2 boars there in stud at Colson Show Pigs, and a gilt that represents the right type of quality, no doubt. I know Kelton's got to travel and get to Evans more than once for sure, not only just for live or for online sale stuff, but also to look at boars and just the quality of stuff he's got. I've had the opportunity to get a few of them bought from him, and for sure all of them are synonymous in the fact that they all start with the right heads. They're so good skeleton and always have a good look. Ev is obviously no stranger to the backdrop, especially when you're talking about dark crossbred gilts, and especially when you're talking about OYE. And for sure, we're happy to have him. He's in the area. If you're out of state, you're coming in tomorrow, you're watching online, if he'd be around to show you some boars, I'm sure he'd love to, because the quality at his house, both in terms of show pigs and boars alike, are as good as anywhere in the country. Thanks, Ev. Once again, this one here is back tag 54, drum roll, blindside.
Yeah, I've been to Colson's CSP a few times, and always have a great respect and admiration for Evan, not only just as a breeder, as a family guy, and as a person there. And we've got to be very, very good friends. I've always told him the great thing about it is we get to live in separate states, and I don't have to try to beat him every time. And he's probably tired of me saying that, but other ones do. The guy just knows what it takes. He knows how to win. Particularly, obviously, the barrel ring is successful, but in this gilt deal, if you start tallying up things and give a premier breeder, I would say Colson Show Pigs wins, and probably at a Landstad. There's some notes right here. The mother of the 78s was the keeper gilt of last spring. Ironically, there with me on the microphone, I judged Tulsa used a gilt that they had 5th overall. They actually won the show, but that 5th overall gilt, I ended up latching on and buying her. I don't buy very many mature gilts. I bought her for her extra uniqueness that she possessed there, and it says they're backed by some of the very best sows they have, including the mom of the Grand at Arkansas, the Grand at West Coast National, the mom of Waggle, and the Waggle $22,000 gilt at OYE, and a lot of other ones there. So again, he knows what it takes. Monty and the crew there, they're focused, and they don't expect to be very, very low at that OYE gilt sale, and that's evident. 78.4, back tag 45 from Colson.
Seabury Show Pigs in the ring neck with his blue gilt. He's got him a blue shirt on, had him a blue kind of whip back there too. He's walking with her, so all blue today for the Seabury team for sure. This is a gilt that comes through with awesome quality. She is back tag 69. Her pedigree would read Say What, Slaps, Rockstar, and that sow would have came from Ham. Man, a very, very good gilt. Christian's also a good friend. That man raises some good pigs, always in the sale or sneaking one in at the highest level year after year. Was a no-brainer in terms of an invite. Seabury, thank you for coming. Also one of those guys to add to the list, and I'm a better golfer than, but man, your blue gilt's real good. Thanks, Seabury.
I've never golfed against him, but I bet he's better than I am. But I do always enjoy visiting with him whenever he comes to the sales or the shows, and whenever I get to run into him there. And I think a gilt that he's proud of. We've seen some Saywants, and I think that's a boar that's definitely going to get to hear even more of. I'm going to say of all the crossbeds we've seen, I call this one probably the boxiest, the bulkiest, and yet at the same time a power gilt that offers look and flexibility. If you like that color pattern and dig in, once you take care of skin and hair and get things presented right, it seems they always kind of shine through and go. And I don't know where everybody sits as far as classification goes. That's a light cross in our part of the world. I guess it is here too, and that would offer another wrinkle and uniqueness there. Again, Barry brings a really nice female here. She looks like she could show early often and then still be around there come March. A very, very good individual. Back tag is 69.
Next in the ring here is Winter Livestock, and obviously Tanner needs no introduction. A guy, and just in terms of true hog breeder, obviously he's the very top of that list, no doubt. Got to spend a fun 4th of July with him, got to see boars, got to see sows and little pigs, and for sure it was very, very enjoyable. And it was one of those places, the next day I got to drive to Arkansas there in Paragould, was in El Reno that night, and then drove to Paragould the next morning. So I had plenty of time going the opposite side of the state there into Arkansas to think about the quality of boars and sows and pigs alike I saw there, and then got to go to his beers and brats viewing, and man, that was something to me that was very, very impressive, to go to someone's house that they have that type of number one facility and just a structure to their program, and then when the quality follows up with it, gets me fired up for sure. This is back tag 23. She's a Duroc gilt, obviously there. She's sired by Understatement, double up. That'd be Forward's mom. Tanner can tell you probably more than I could about that, but I know that sow obviously is as good as anything there at the residency. Pretty darn good Duroc gilt for sure. Thank you, Tanner.
There's no stop that I've enjoyed more than going to Winter Livestock. And again, I've said it several different times. As they run that stock out underneath that tent, there you can tell it's evident there's a plan, there's a purpose, and that these are stock people that just truly have good animals that feed. They do their thing. Tanner's going to always do his thing his way. And if you question that, just talk to him for a minute. But this one's out of Ford's mom. Is that what we said there? Ford's mom here on the Duroc female. Awesome look, awesome maturity, awesome bulk, awesome mass and squareness. Feet and legs are incredible there. They demand the very best of quality and predictability there. And again, in the red game, it doesn't matter what breed that we've gone through there, but in the red ones, I don't think one like this is going to be able to be touched. 23 is the back tag. Again, Winter Livestock.
Pell's in next here, and another guy is probably 2 or 3 years older than me, and always one of those guys for sure that was raising pigs, feeding pigs, and doing well with families. Probably even still there towards my junior and senior year of high school. Got to watch him in JUCO and have success for sure. So obviously another one of them guys we called in a quick manner. Thank you, Pell, for coming. This will be back tag 10, 6-9. She's sired by Moneyline, and out of a tricked out sow. Got a pretty snazzy picture of her, no doubt, and she comes out here. She is beautiful skinned, awesome looking. Compositions is spot on in relation to her body shape, probably as any sale type of pig maybe we've seen yet today, yet still she's got extension for sure. Thank you, Pell.
I haven't seen the picture, but Garrett says it's snazzy, and that doesn't surprise me. That one that first grabbed me is just neck set, and where her neck attaches to the top of her shoulder is extremely unique, and yet still dead level. Her skin pigment and just hair texture reads of quality. Her hip and hind leg design is phenomenal. Out of Moneyline, we've talked about those and how stout those things can get, and this gilt is well on her way to being as high quality as what we've seen there. Pell brings 6-9, and that's back tag 10.
Coming in next is Halfin, and another guy that man has been raising good show pigs for a long time. And the same note as Pell, man, that a little bit older than me type of age, and always a guy you saw doing well. But his sister as her show career, and then you watched Halfin develop as an older person than you into a guy that pretty much won about everywhere he went. So very, very happy to have him here. I've fed pigs from Halfin that have won for the Romero boy there in Georgia, all the way to Claire's Class 1 winner at OYE last year. A firm that for sure is a go-to for me every single time pigs are for sale. Halfin's an awesome guy that breeds great pigs. His gilt here in the ring will be back tag 58 there. She's a modern day next play, never before. And one, I probably got to see her a little bit earlier in life compared to where she is now, but man, it's impressive that she still even looks better. She's got better every day of her life. Awesome color pattern, awesome look. Halfin, thank you for sure.
I was looking at the gilt and didn't scroll through the sheets here, but this one says that the mom came from Canalth. Grandma is an 81 litter sow from Canalth, and if anybody doesn't know that, then just kind of skip through. But those 81s are absolutely phenomenal generators. The Grand at San Antonio, the Grand at Denver, the Champion Heavyweight at Denver. Hey, we get out in here. My son's Fort Worth Bear was out in 81 too. Just left it out just for good measure, I guess. But an awesome gilt here. She is stout. She's burly. She's awesome in terms of proportionality there for sure. And obviously a firm there that really doesn't know anything but success and doesn't expect anything differently. I've seen more modern day pigs than any one sire. I don't know if he just bred that many sires or Evan Seaman there on that boar, or Chelsea just did that good of a job getting things in the lab done, because man, there's been a lot of them. He's stamping that kind of rib shape, he's stamping that kind of density, and they're still flexible and just perfectly square whenever they leave you. There's going to be a lot of modern days shown, a lot of them winning, and a lot of them that have some value in their end. Halfin brings another really good one, as we would expect him to. Back tag 58.
Good thing we've got Justin Lukasek ringside that just joined us, because we've got a gilt coming in. He might need to have his eyes on for his daughter, and much alike every single show dad, mom, or a buyer like myself. This one's from Alton Weathers, a guy that obviously too needs no introduction. Back tag 21. She's sired by White Hot, the boar there at Tanner Winters that CNC would have raised out of an OG sow. And I mean, man, that pedigree to me is so good. This is a gilt that's taken a really, really good picture. We've posted it on Snapchat, Facebook, and for sure if I had any other social media I was actually active on, probably would have posted it there too. So this is a gilt from Alton, like I said, that's bred awesome. We're very, very pleased and happy to have him here. I know he got here a little bit late. This gilt took the trip so good. She looks like something that I'd love to feed. I love that gilt for sure. Thank you.
White Hot OG solid white gilt here that obviously is a little smaller than some of them. She probably fits right in there with Swinford's pair there that we had. But, we get to a live sale and we see a small gilt, but I don't know what size you would want them to be, whether they be 20 pounds, 200 pounds, or 300 pounds, that you'd ever want them built any differently than this one here. Imagine if you stumbled across her at a nursery, what you'd be willing to give and pluck her out there. That gilt there is absolutely phenomenal, and definitely one very high on my list there that Weathers offers. That back tag is 21.
So we'll have about probably a 60 or 90 second just kind of waiting period. That was the end of our gilts to my knowledge, and now, yep, that's correct. And so now we're going to roll on to King's Row. We've got a hand-selected group of crossbreds. Our purebreds aren't in there in order. We may talk a spot before we ever talk the Berkshire. So won't go in order. We'll try to make it very, very a slower-paced environment to let everybody online both, and then people here too get to see the males that we're very proud of. they got here on perfect timing and manner for sure. Halfin back in the ring. This is a pig that I have had to do a lot of bribing to get here because, to be honest, I think he is a highlight, no doubt. And his pedigree to me is so awesome. Both his top side and what his mom's out of are the two boars that I've had more winning pigs out of, and cut at 10 in the middle. Those two boars have done a lot of good for me for sure. This pig's sired by OG. His mom's out of Hero. Follow that up with an extended pedigree of Hero Backdrop Dirty. So his pedigree reads OG Hero Backdrop Dirty. Obviously one, to me, Halfin said whenever I'd asked him about bringing him, he said, man, this is probably the best pig I raised this time, and probably is pretty much saying he is the best one. And so, how is this deal going to be? How is it going to be set up? We are very happy to have some sponsorship with Primo. We had awesome breeders. We've had a great sale and just a crowd here tonight to where I expect this pig to fit in beautifully. Kelton being here is an awesome deal in my opinion, and for sure a guy that's so knowledgeable, and he can tell you more about this pig. I can sit here and ramble my mouth all day long. Long story short, he's really good from a guy that raises winning show pigs.
We just talked about Halfin's gilt, and as good as she was, I think we even upped the game when the male pig comes in. When Garrett again called and asked if I'd be part of the Queen sale, he said, "But I think we've got a really cool idea, and we're going to have Kings Row." And I was so excited about it. It's been really neat to see the focus in Oklahoma on the gilt side of things and the value that they bring. But there's no question this crossbred bear deal is probably where I resonate and at the top of my list and where my heart sits. And for a blue pig to enter the ring like this, it kind of gets my heart going just a little bit more. And just first impression to have a head that stout and still that classy. His ear set is right. He's square up top. His body shape is huge. And then if you guys will actually study his upper hip length, his length from stifle back, his appropriate bend to his rear leg, that is unique for not just a blue or a cross. That's unique in the pig industry there. Study that one. Study his rear skeleton. That's the way they need to be built. That's what we're striving to do, and the rest of it looks like a champion pig. Halfin kicks off Kings Row. Phenomenal blue pig here. Again, back tag would be 59 out of OG.
In here now would be Mick Alexander again here with their Yorkshire King. And man, one to me is very good. So I actually was wrong earlier, and I said the gilt was a mate to the boar here, and that's incorrect. So the gilt's a revamped Hot Take 47-3. Then the male pig here is a revamp Walks Alone. His mom is a mate sister to the one that raised the champion gilt there at OYE last year in the Yorkshire division. So mom's an aunt to that one. We got this picture, like I said earlier. I got to see that Showtime Sires shared it, and obviously Seth Swenson's a guy that knows a lot. And then two, whenever we see him in person, that thing is so good and represents so much quality. Like I said, we appreciate them coming. I know that Chandler isn't just around the corner, kind of an up-and-coming, new buzzed type of sale, if you will. And so I appreciate you guys' trust on bringing one that's very good. Pays $5,000 to win the Yorkshire Barrows at OYE. Pays pretty deep all the way throughout that class in general. Real nice pig.
As hard as Yorkshire gilts are to find, I would say Yorkshire purebred Yorkshire Barrows might be tougher. And then at the same time, it is so unique, and I'm just kind of hats off to the show management for giving them a place to show and then reward them as well. We don't have that opportunity in our state there, but this one's right here. That's what's quality, levelness, design, ability to balance for a Yorkshire that still keeps everything together structurally. Obviously, they've been very competitive from this firm. I think this barrow right here, or male pig in the Yorkshire ring, will be tough to turn.
Next in the ring, we've got Todd Show Pigs again, and like we talked earlier, we're getting towards the back, end obviously of the preview, and it's not to be long-winded, but a guy too that is synonymous with raising pigs that win. His kids showed pigs, both his oldest daughter Garrett and Kinsey, and then it's traveled all the way down the family. That doesn't happen from just wishing in a well. There's obviously something there that guy's pretty good at. This pig represents that, no doubt. He's a wild-time gangster anchor man. This is a pig to me that his head shape and ear set right out of the gate is just very, very commanding, very, very big league. To me, if I could picture myself and maybe a guy like Kelton Shoes who gets to judge a lot of big shows, that type of initial view is going to go a really long way for me. He backs it by a square rear leg there and a promising type of body shape. Nice pig Gary brings us for sure.
We hinted on Wild Time just a minute ago, but the first set of pigs that I personally had seen were the ones that Gary showcased there on SC. That first sale, and was blown away again just with their structure, their build, their flexibility and comfort level to still have some presence, the right body shape and the right muscle texture there. And I get asked a whole bunch, what boars out there are working, which ones are go. Wild Time comes out of my mouth as quickly as any one boar, and I rank him as high as any boar there in the country there. Out of buckle up and offers those uniqueness of characteristics, and yet still they're all this sound and this comfortable. That hip and hind leg, we just talked about Halfin's pig's hip and hind leg. These two could get in the ring and kind of trot around for a long, long time. The judges are going to get to sort them off of which one gives up because their structure's made right. Really good belted crossbred, dark crossbred there from Todd, and a program that obviously is synonymous with success there. 27 would be his back tag one, or back number, once we get that one paid in.
And next here would be Xander Ivy, the Ivy Livestock, King's Row consignment, and like we'd said earlier, he brought a trio of them there, and then this was the King's Row pig. Wide awake, quite frankly, back tag 45, and obviously him and I are very good buddies, and I've got to see some pictures of both the gilts, but a lot of this pig on Snapchat, and I can see why. Square edge, beautiful texture, and then everything's just so good balanced from the side. Took the trip well. He's got an awesome head. That type of both top side pedigree and bottom side, just quality and the way he's bred is very, very good to me. I'll let Kelton tell you more about him. I think a highlight for sure.
We talked about Xander and his family. We talked that he brought a trio, and it's so unique that in this day and time that you can get to a live sale that there's 3 of them of this caliber. I bet the rest of the litter wasn't too shabby, or however many there were in there. The pedigree reads is one that'll feed continually to stouten and highlight genetics there. 10-liter male there. Garrett already pointed out his head, but I'm going to reiterate that. My kids tell me so many times whenever we evaluate things at the house, they say, Dad, there is more to a pig than their head. And I said, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I bet I can tell about the most of them from there, and I don't know that there has to be a whole lot more. That head tells the story, but big back, round rib, square muscled. This is the queen cell. That one looks like a king to me for sure. Back, is that 45, Xander? 45 would be the back tag. Again, a litter mate to the pair of gilts earlier. For you guys at home to note, the live feed, the live stream has actually switched from Facebook over to Walton. And so I don't know how many people will hear that now, or if you want to tell the guys at home, but Walton will have the rest of the live stream from here on out. So again, Ivy Livestock, back tag 45, another really, really good wake up male pig. Wide awake, excuse me.
Get info there from Kelton for sure that the live stream now has moved solely to Walton, and you can find that at your own time and leisure for sure. Next one in is Ross Murrow Farms, or we like to call him, like we said earlier, Puddin'. Man, this is a pig to me that honestly took a lot of bribing to get him here, and rightfully so. His mom we'll just start Koba. She was reserve spot and reserve supreme. I got to feed her there the early part of her life and middle part of her life. She was champion spot or Poland, kind of however we jackpotted her a lot. I mean, man, about every single weekend she won. Then she went to OYE and she was a champion spot gilt there as well. So, and then throw in the fact that Puddin has not only raised her, but then the one of Prince's that was so successful that year. And then you get a male pig from a firm that looks like that has that type of texture, that type of head and density. It's pretty impressive. Like I said, it took some bribing. Obviously, there's some board talk on this pig, as there absolutely should be. And, you know, so getting him in the right setting was very important. I appreciate Ross Murrow, Bryson Johnson there as well for bringing this pig. One to me that is very, very special.
You know, when he stuck his head out the gate and came right at me, I actually thought this one looks like he could be a boar. And yet at the same time, we always say at home, the champion barrows are the ones that could have been boars that we had the guts to cut. The champion boar or the main boars are the ones that look like they could have been champion barrows. That's the way this guy reads there. We talk about kind of quirky things in the show pig world, but sometimes it comes down to it. I think that's an awesome colored spot, the white ear, the black ear, things that are located right in terms of his body will just add to his quality. Really, really stout one here from Murrow. I think, again, boar barrow, whichever direction that you wanted to go with that spot male, I don't think you could go wrong for sure, and bred extremely well. Back tag would be 51 on this prospect.
Next in is Day Family Show Pigs. And like we talked to him earlier, really, really missing Justin. He's one of those guys, obviously it's not here, but one of those people, you know, he doesn't always say a whole lot, but whenever Justin speaks, he speaks with intent and truth and honesty. And man, he's got virtues and qualities about him, not only as a person, but as a hog breeder that are incredible. His stock's always genuine. They're always square built. They always have head shape. Very rarely you get a pig from Justin Day, you say, oh, that one's flat, skinny, and narrow. He believes in honesty on both sides, no doubt. And this pig represents that to the very highest degree. I actually got to pick him up this morning and haul him in. Connor Pell here's got him. Him and I have kind of got to get this pig settled in, and we've got to, you know, had a fun time doing it. This pig is very, very high quality in my opinion. Man, just one that reads a lot of good things to me.
We talked about a modern day earlier, and this one lines up modern day. He'd be him bred back to his aunt. Sal's out of Daylight's mom, a class winner at Tulsa. This pig was a crypt. He's been fixed. He's healed up. He's ready to roll. Like you said, I think, again, if this one's dropped in or you had all the male pigs in here and said Day's got one of them in the ring, this is the one that I would pinpoint of being one of Justin's prospects here. Again, he's stout, he's wide, he's powerful, he's smooth built, and still one of those that gets out of his hip and hind leg comfortably there. Very good pig there from Day. Lined up modern day would be a very good prospect for somebody to own.
And next is Little Acres here with a blue belted one. That's another one that's been very, very popular. Like I said earlier, you know, he got in and got settled in early this morning. I got in a little bit late after kind of running a few errands. And man, I walked through and he was for sure one of the ones I liked early. And then you walk through him still now and he's up there, no doubt. Same stuff we've talked about, that initial view, chest, sternum, forearm, head. All of his view out front's very, very strong. He follows and wedges back very, very appropriately as well. This pig here, he would be a say what, absolute tricked out. He is back tag 63, ear notch 29-2.
We commented earlier, if you do the math and go with 5.5 months from now, however many days that is, and multiply that by about 1.5 pounds, this pig is plenty appropriate sized, and everybody gets got into those big ones. And I have a prediction that we're going to have a lot of guys in trouble there come early March or late February when they're trying to keep things within a window. This pig's going to fit perfectly for that March show, whether you're in Texas or in Oklahoma. But boy, this guy's rib shape is incredible. Just a body design is awesome. Very, very stout. And this one looks stout about his head and from the side, but where he's even more impressive when he leaves you, that is a big, big column of bone for sure. And then one of those sought-after color patterns there as well. Another very good individual. He's small, but he's mighty for sure. Good blue light cross division pig.
Next in here, we've got Pell. This pig here would be an OG Top Shelf, Don't Pass Go, Speak Now. Back tag 11, ear notch 12-1. A pig that obviously, if you're creative or been standing around the Southwest Berkshire Ring in Oklahoma, obviously your mind automatically goes to that. Berkshire Barrow, OYE, slick neck, round bodied, tricked out look, all the things that guy's judging I'd predict likes, and then yet still he'll appease and cater to a wide variety of judges. He's sound, he's round bodied. His view right here is as good as anything, and I have a really nice view of it. Just the spread to his back, the turn to his mid body, silhouette from the side is real good. Another good one, really good one that Pell brings us. We appreciate it.
Definitely, Berkshire's the first thing that comes to mind, and we get like you said, gets creative. For you guys online from my state, we could actually probably even squeak this one in with a little bit of creativity too. It's a little tougher down there to get things work in these minor breeds there, but this one looks like he'll fit. And then once he gets past that line, that height, the shoulder, that sharp of a look, that kind of pasture strength and ability to get out and roll with still mass and squareness of build. We're calling him a Berkshire. That's where I think he fits. I think he wins once he gets there. Pell brought a really nice pair, a little different wrinkle with this one.
Next king we've got in is a Chester there from Klein. Like I'd said, both Half and me alike, and then alongside Hammock, I'd say us three have fed some really nice pigs from Klein alongside about 1,000 other people because he raises awesome pigs. This one is no exception to that. Very sleek looking, no doubt. Back tag 65. This is a perfect game Roscoe. Very, very happy that Klein joined us.
We talked about his guilt and the guys that just know what it takes in a particular breed, and I think this Barrow or this male pig follows suit. That is a long fronted kind of a Chester pig there that doesn't read coarse but still stout, long out of his hip. He's still aggressive up top, but so immature still yet in his look. If I know anything about this breed or those things, they flesh easy. You've got to worry about them at the crown of their neck, and this one looks like he's just about as perfect there as you can. Looks like to me, just feed him, take him at the right pace, and things will get good. Klein's got a really good pair. Again, they know what it takes in this Chester deal. 65 will be one to hear of.
Next in, we've got Winter Livestock with the Duroc King. He's an understatement, forward, green bottles. Saw a little teaser of him. I guess it'd be this late morning there on my Snapchat that him and Sam had taken alongside Keaton at the farm, and so captivating to me. It was a view there of him in the preview pin of his chest, squareness of knee, security of front foot. Then here at the sale, he's so round-bodied. He is a stout-legged and yet still strong and secure as anything. We appreciate Tanner for coming here. Obviously, we all know that he believes in his stuff as he should, and so for him to come here and sell stuff of that quality tells us that he really wants to sell them here at this sale because it's a good platform, hopefully, no doubt. Tanner, thank you. Very good pair.
I saw that same Snapchat and I was like, what are we doing here? And looked in further and was excited to see him. That thing looked like a little bear cub at you. I mean, he was big armed and stout headed and stout chested. I thought that might be one of those kind of just ones that was too quick, probably short hipped and round, and he's everything but that. Hip and hind leg functions awesome. Again, we've talked about it. It's 5.5, 6 months still. It feels like we've been selling pigs. We're kind of getting into things. These red ones grow, and that's the perfect size, I think, to me, to be a moose there in the end. That one's going to feed awesome. Talk to Tanner about his pedigree and how to manage, but a really good red kind of a barrel here. 22 would be the back number.
Once again, thank you, Tanner, a guy that no doubt is as sharp as anybody in the country. Next coming in, we got MC3 with their Berkshire entry. This is obviously one that we've promoted alongside them very heavily, and for good reason. I stopped in, like I'd mentioned earlier, on my way to Idabel to judge a show. First time going in, and I literally walked in their brand new chip barn. I was probably 30 feet away from the pens. They had about 10, maybe 12 pens in there, and the only thing I saw was the top of his head, his his ears, his nose, and his head there, and I just asked him, I said, "What's that pig?" And, both girls kind of giggled at me, so I knew, obviously, he'd had some friends before. Long story short, after a few long, phone calls, negotiations, and bribery on Kenshi and I's part, he made his way here, and we're so thankful for that because, to be honest, I think this pig's incredible. Regardless of breed, as good of a pig I've seen all year. He'd be back tag number 1. His pedigree is above and beyond. Top shelf. That sow would be a mate sister to Top Secret there. This pig, man, you can paint him any color, make his ears as goofy, upside down, sideways, anything you want to do to this pig, he's always going to be quality. Like I said, took a lot to get him here. I'm so happy he's here, and then also the fact he looks like that makes me smile. Thank you, MC3.
Well, Garrett gave a good introduction there. It was the only male pig that I actually knew prior to the sale that was coming, and came from a couple different sources there, but he comes in and doesn't disappoint at all there. And again, one of those, everybody can talk about different qualities. They can talk about things that pigs possess. That one looks like a winner. He's got the presence of a winner. He carries himself like a winner, the stoutness of it. If I was judging this pig and he enters the ring, there's no reason for discussion. He's going to end up winning. And then I think, to me, he's still extreme enough to be a boar. Awesome pig, awesome consignment. I'd say a highlight of Kings Row for sure.
Coming in next is Carr, our Poland King. This is back tag 32, 96-2. His pedigree reads Head Start, State and Facts, Power Drive. Probably about, it's been exactly 2 winters ago, KJ and I got to go on a trip up north together for about a week or so. That was highlighted by a few awesome places. And this is a place that, man, we actually were not able to go by. And it actually kind of, hurt my heart a little bit, because the whole trip, KJ at the time was just telling me, how good their Polands are and how just good their quality of pigs are throughout. And then, over the next 2 years since then, watching the online sales, watching what their Poland males and gilts alike sell for, and then watching them finish correctly is pretty impressive to me, no doubt. That's a pretty cool thing. This one looks like he can keep the bell ringing the same type of way. Real nice pig.
Yeah, again, one for the breed I think is made right and at the right stage here. Again, so tall-shouldered, his head and neck come out of the top of his blade where it needs to be. And then Polands don't cross the ring with that kind of comfort, ease, flex and give, and without effort, and so that'll always benefit him. And still, he's thick-ended, square coming and going. We saw those 2 gilts and was enamored by those gilts quality there. This one fits right in, and maybe is the blend of what those females were. Obviously, he gets to show in a different ring, and you get him there amongst his contemporaries. He's going to be a unique one for those things we just talked about. Carr came from Indiana, brought a really good set and a trio of Polands that need to take notice of.
Burling back in next. Back tag or lot 7, whatever you want to call it. We'll have a different sale order in the morning as we go through here and say back tag 1 or back tag 69, whatever it is in between. We will have a specific sale order tomorrow. We'll preview them in the morning, and we will post that on Facebook. This was just an order of the way they were entered on our Google spreadsheet that gave us information to go through here efficiently as we previewed them. So long story short, another one from Burling, and one that for sure needs a discussion. Purebred Hampshire. His pedigree would read Watch This Netflix. And man, pig that obviously, once again, we've talked about the quality on both his Hampshire gilt and his Durocs, and then this Hampshire male speaks true the same way. We talked about the benefits, the incentives of showing purebred Yorkshire buyers at the city. The same deal is there for the Hampshires, no doubt. This pig looks like one that could be competitive.
I don't guess I get to run across a whole lot of purebred Hampshires in the Southwest. I don't know that there's a whole bunch of them, but I just don't think they usually look like this. This one's spread, this one's mass, this one's look, and still strong-toed. His elbow looks like it's right. His rear foot's not knuckled up. His bone column is consistent and good. His head shape reads of quality. His ear set is right. All things of which will, I think, separate you once you get to a purebred Hampshire ring there, and then you take note of his quality from there on. So again, Berlin came down right there across from Carr there in Indiana, and brought a set of reds, a set of Hampshires that I think offer a lot of attention, a different wrinkle to what most guys down here are going. If you're looking for that money that's rewarded there and has that division, I would say you're not going to find them any better than this back tag 7.
That is the last king and pig of the night to discuss. Once again, we appreciate everybody being patient, tuning in online to Walton, working with us on that for sure. Kelton, thank you. Kenshi, thank you. And then everybody else in the back. It's obviously warm here in Oklahoma still. If you've got the viewing pleasure from your couch there back home, you're for darn sure in a better spot than us. I appreciate the guys in the crowd for braving it. We will start back again in the morning with an 11 a.m. preview on schedule to start the sale there at noon 15. So take about an hour to do the preview, 15-minute break. Lot 1 should sell about 12:15. Once again, we appreciate it.